Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily. I'm Stephen Allen. This is a day. What more do you want? We're up to date. Welcome along to this show where I go through some of the stuff that's in the news. We do some chit chat around it. Hello, I'm Steve. If you're new here, how? Why? Why did you find this? Seems strange. But there's plenty of news to go through. If you are watching this live, you can get involved. If you're not watching this live, click subscribe and like and think. Hang on. Like and subscribe. If you're watching it live, youtube.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen is the place where the comments happen. Right. Some people notice a slight minute late. Kermit's already saying, oh, he's updated something or rebooted something. I ain't rebooting anything these days. But you know how these comments have not been updating. I've been trying to work on the CSS to get it to update. And as you can see, I have not done it. I've gone back to the originals. I got it to update, but not transparent anymore. They're flipping. We'll get there anyway at some point. Plus, yes, there was camera trouble. But you know there is. Every single time I do a show, I try and update the firmware on the one that, we collectively bought. The pan zoom tilt camera, still an absolute paperweight. Not a good paperweight that's desk nuts, but more on that later. Let's see who's in the chat then, shall we? Oh, there is new tech today as well. I'll give you some more on that. More on that later. Squirrel was here first. No way. First, says Ems, but only because I'm currently on public transport trying not to stand up for anyone who may need a priority seat. If you need a priority seat, good. But if you're in a priority seat, you then don't get to delegate who stands up. More on that story later. I know I've done that story now. Who else is here? Jules is here. Morning. It's going to be hard to drag myself away from this live special of the thick of it. Oh, it was good, wasn't it? Some Olly Dobbins in. Well, more on that. Definitely more on that later. Loads more on that because that's the big story around. Who else? Proper Memes is here. Thank you for today's picture. Look at that. Look at that. Look, I mean, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get arrested for that. If anything happens today, it's going to make me look really bad. Do you know what I mean? If someone genuinely Guy Fawkes it, they're going to come looking at me. Thanks, Proper Memes. Martin's here. And what else we got? I think I've caught up with everyone. Oh, Sebastian. Hello, Steve. How's things with you? All right. Actually, do you know what? Before we get into the news, I now have 2 stream decks. One for camera work, one for playing in the clips. And I'm so happy about that. If the camera work actually worked by me having some cameras at work, that'd be nice. But there we go. That's a fan suit. Thanks, PM. Yeah, I mean, I don't look like that in real life, but well, there's a goal in it. I have to trim this tash, by the way. Look at that. Like and subscribe. So, should we do the front pages? Darn it, let's do the front pages. Front pages. Front pages. Given that the jingles now come out of a different thing, I'm gonna miss some. I'm gonna press the wrong ones. But as soon as I learn this setup, oh, it's gonna be swish. It's gonna be so swish. It's gonna be pure sex. Well, not pure. So the front pages. Let's start off with this. Look, we can take a second to deal with this story. I've only been taking testosterone for 3 days, and it's working already, says Nadine Dorries. Nadine Dorries, who is transitioning. I write columns for various newspapers, nothing national, just little locals. I do little silly columns in, but even I know the struggle to try and find a story to write about. I've never been so desperate to try and fill my column. I thought, you know what? I'll flip in transition. And if I did, I'd do one of them pretend ones. You know, the ones where you don't do anything medically or at all, and you decide that people now have to play a pronoun game. That one I could do that and do 400 words on that, easy, or 440 words if it's in the Swindon Advertiser. They love a bit of Steve. But But I never thought, you know what? I need to write something for page 19 of the Daily Mail. Let's grow some, tig old biddies. That's what I do. I don't know if she's got the ability to grow some of them tig old biddies, but it's probably not. She's decided to become a dude. You're up to date. But the main story, which in a sense, well, it's Keir Starmer based, it's Peter Mandelson based, it's Sir Olly Dobbins, it's so we have to do it one at a time. So technically this is under the category of breaking news. Because I've just finished watching the Olly Robbins thing, and this is under the category of, I suppose, Peter Mandelson, which is under the category of Epstein.
Epstein update.
But it's not just Epstein, it's Peter Mandelson related, so the latest on that would be... Someone got thrown under the bus today, and I don't think it's who Keir Starmer thought it was going to be. That's the basic update to that. So here's some of the headlines. It's everyone's fault but his, is the front page of the Daily Mail, the Financial Times. You know, a picture of him walking out, probably carrying his belongings. The front page of the more sympathetic to his cause Mirror, they chose not to tell me. Well, we kind of know a bit more about that now, don't we? For once, you are actually right. It beggars belief. He also called it incredible. I think there's one of the front pages had that. I know many MPs will find these facts to be incredible, as in not like The Incredibles. Words like extraordinary, and incredible. Isn't it annoying they've got like two flipping meanings? So, yes, I've just listened to the Olly Robbins thing, and I think he picked the wrong scapegoat. We all know what's going on here. Surely we all know what's going on. Let's pick a front page that fills the actual gap. There you go. We all know what went on here. They wanted to give Peter Mandelson the job as ambassador to the US and thought, yeah, we'll get away with it. Let's just do it. And they did it before the vetting. Now, the vetting, as it turns out, we learned today, couldn't have vetoed him, but it could have recommended against him. And Starmer had said if he'd found out that he'd failed the vetting, not that you can fail the vetting, but you can have no recommendation, then Starmer said he wouldn't have appointed Mandelson in the job, but he did, because he did it before the vetting, which actually, if he cared about the vetting, he should have waited for the vetting. It feels like we all know what's going on. It was we need someone to go over there and schmooze Trump. We need someone who's famous, someone who's got the word Lord on his name, someone who hangs around with Epstein. He was, in many ways, exactly the right man for the job, because he was exactly the wrong man. There, if you really search for it, was a clip of me talking on BBC Radio 5 Live before I was cancelled by the BBC. It's going to be annoying that I've got so many of these now. On the week that Mandelson was appointed, and at the end of the little chit-chat, I said, well, if you need someone to go over there and, lie, he's exactly the right person. And Adrian Charles and the other guest was like, ooh, as if somehow I'd gone too far. And I think you might even hear me go, what did I go too far? Turns out I didn't. He was exactly the right liar to send him. But they clearly thought, vetting, schmetting, we'll get away with it. It's not as if anyone's going to release the Epstein files and then we'll start to find out some Dodge stuff, and then everyone will find the Russian and or China Dodge stuff as well. We'll get away with this. And they didn't get away with it. So anything that happened about the vetting, retrospectively, was all trying to cover up. I'd have more respect for them if they went, he didn't get a glowing report in the vetting. He certainly wouldn't pass CRB checks. Whatever. If anything, it's better to send him over there rather than keep him here. Could have spun it that way. So, yeah, Olly Robbins was really good, wasn't he? He seemed like if you had to pick a side, if you needed someone to support you, he was kind of across the details. There we go. Let's see what's happening in the chat on this subject. I imagine stuff. In the front page of Sting, you've made yourself sound like Tommy Vance. No, I do that live. Front pages. There's no... Look, this is the front page of Sting. But I got nothing to do during it, so I just sit here going, front pages. Rachel Adedeji. She's now Westminster shot put champion. Hang on. Wow, I guess we're talking about Nadine Dorries. Ooh. Thick thighs, though. For a middle-aged man, 2 working streamers is quite an achievement. It's because of all the tablets. Martin, no, we've read that one. Bitty, them tig old bitties. I think that way you get away with saying that on YouTube. I think a spoonerism will save a lot of my broadcast career. Tommy Vance, Friday Rock Show TV. Yes, I know what you mean. Doddington Putt, whatever it was. Yet again, we find ourselves needing one of those wall charts full of pins and red strings. Yeah. But the thing is, Eve, this is what gets me with these stories. The buck stops in one place, and you end up with 2 situations, either incompetency or lying. That's how it always boils down, isn't it? Do we have a situation where Keir Starmer knew all the information and thought, whatevs, Or, when that's incompetency. Or, no, that's knew it and that's lying. Or wasn't across the brief. Really, you've got to be in charge of it. What's the point of vetting unless you're going to try and pay some attention to its recommendation? And there's no point in vetting after you've made the decision. Do you know what I mean? There is no way, 3 sessions after someone's babysat my kid, I'd be like, I might have a look at their Facebook, see if they're working at the BBC. So there's that. I will say, actually, while we're back on this, that stream, it paused. This flipping computer used to be brilliant. Windows 11. I will say, everyone's been talking about comparing it to Partygate, and can we just put that one to bed? Everyone's going, well, look, he lied to Parliament, and that's what Boris Johnson did. And what's more important, eating a little bit of cake or lying about the person we're sending off to America would be great. Apart from that's not what got rid of Boris Johnson. How soon we forget. Partygate did not end Boris Johnson's premiership. Sue Gray did not end party-loving Boris Johnson's premiership. Even Chris Pinchy Pincher didn't end it. It was the fact that they'd reached a point where all of his cabinet started to resign, and he was like, bah. So the same thing will happen here. The only way any of this ends in a resignation is if cabinet members decide to go. And the problem is different. With the Tories back then, they had something of a surfeit of people wanting to be Prime Minister. Some of them really shouldn't have been. They don't really have any good ones at Labour, so I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to end up in any sort of change of staff. Jesus, says Hi-Ho Kermit, this show is mostly graphics, jingles and VTs. We're going to be here till 2 p.m. Where's my 2 p.m. jingle? I'll get one ready for next week. Nixon appeared on Frost for years after Watergate, claiming he knew nothing. It's what they do. M says, it's just the height of too muchery, to be honest. Ooh. Hello, chat. Sorry I'm late, says Mr. Cuffs. A very important interjection, and I think you make a good point. So that's it for front page. Is there anything else on the front pages? I think look how it pauses when it loads up. This computer's going to get a slap from me. Madonna in a... Let's have a look. Madonna in a corset at 67. Hurrah. All right. It's like it's doing quite a lot of the heavy lifting. What is technically the difference between a corset and a truss? How do we... All schools to be told they must ban smartphones. Good. You don't need to be distracted. When I went to school, and I realise I am now an old man, but when I went to school, if it was an emergency, they'd call the school. So maybe you could do that. Do we still have landlines? Obviously, we'd need to check into that. I'm not sure if we still do, but if we do still have landlines and a school has one, it's the end of that problem, isn't it? You don't need to be able to contact your kids halfway in the middle of a maths lesson. Maths is hard enough. In fact, everything's hard enough when you're trying to dual screen. And I'm a grown-up, so it's my own stupid fault. But if I'm trying to do a task and I'm at the same time checking my phone, I'm doing a bad version of both things. If I were trying to learn basic maths whilst also being like, hang on, let's just see what's happening on Threads. Ooh, Kylie Minogue. Someone's just invited me to collaborate on a reel again. Then, of course, don't be stupid. You don't need smartphones. And it's not about cheating and all that. I'm all for using calculators. I'm a big fan of calculators. That was a great invention because you can make it say boobies. You can, with the smartphone, you can make it say tig old biddies. But, in good interjection, Proper Meme says, all schools, what if you study app development? Good point. It's not a good point, is it? Because you run that in a sandbox. Not an actual sandbox, because we are talking about schools. You use that in a virtual machine. You do that in a virtual machine. Don't go into an actual sandbox to try and develop an app. You'll be there all day. Has Madonna got a bad back? She probably has after that fall, Justin. You know, at the Brits, when she was like, whee! We've all done it. We barely had payphones in my... When I were a lad, kids these days don't know they're born. We barely had payphones in my school. Did I get that across? I think payphones would be worse than just having a landline, because a landline is just a phone connected to the wall. Payphones have the pictures of the street ladies. That would put me off maths. I would not be quite as good at calculus as I am now if there were more pictures of... Well, that's not necessarily true. There would be small pictures of women saying that they've got A-levels, and I'd be like, all right, well, I guess she's got O and A-levels. That's a recommendation. They must have been so gutted when CSEs and GCSEs came in, because up until that point, that was a great euphemism for what they get up to on their little cards, wouldn't it? Did they think for a while, do we now... Is GCSE a euphemism for oral? Kermit, I was that kid with a Casio calculator watch. Of course you flipping. Beep, beep, beep. All right, Michael. She's got a bad front. Well, do you know what? I think we're lucky she didn't fall forwards during the conical bra era, because she'd still be wedged there. I suppose you could get her out with a crowbar. We used pigeons to send messages to each other. In my day, we used pigeons. You write a message on the side at pigeon, pop it in envelope, send it off. Have to pay more than letter. But we didn't know about that, we were poor. A corset is a waist support, says Martin. A truss is a short-lived prime minister. That's true. I don't think Madonna's corset is going to crash the bonds market. The Madonna hip replacement. She is hip, isn't she? She's done well with that. And a truss doesn't last long, about 49 days. Yeah, you went there. All right, so they're all doing it. And you were educated in a bird sanctuary, though, PM. Which explains some of the diseases. You're up to date. I think we're done for front pages. Shall we get inside the news?
Let's get inside the news.
That one's not me singing. I should point out, it's only fair. I'll go front pages. That I can't sing like some strange American. This is the camera problem we were having, but I fixed it. Look at that. We're back. We're back. Should we start with this? This one that we covered on the telly box last night. Oh, that's a terrible colour. Oh, that's better. A US influencer and ally of Tommy Robinson has been barred from Britain over extremist views ahead of a London rally. Well, where are they going to get the extremist views from them? No, that's not the point here, is it? I don't know. I'm more of a free speechy person. We debated this on the telly last night a bit. I'm such a free speechy person that I think you have to let people say things that I disagree with and that are wrong. Objectively wrong? I don't know. I think everything's subjectively wrong. Because then other people can disagree with them free speechily and they have an argument or a row or a debate or something like that, right? And then people can get both pieces of information. But I understand that means my silly system will mean someone who really should not be allowed to come and say stuff will be allowed to come and say stuff. But if you have the alternate system of people get to have an opinion, there'll be a state, there's a point. You know that weird mathematical issue about what is the number, right? I think people often in the textbooks, or if you're watching the YouTube videos, let's be honest, that's where we get it. How many hairs make a beard is the example. If you're clean shaven, you have no beard. You have a full beard, you've got a beard. But that means there must be a number at which you suddenly have a beard. But there is no number. You can't find that one hair that if you take it away, you go, you don't have a beard anymore. And that's the thing. Where do you find that fine line? So it's all very well saying some people should not be allowed in, other people, of course. Well, who gets to decide where that point is? And that then will change based on which government you've got. So if your actual decision is such an arbitrary, changeable thing, I think it's better just to let people in and disagree with them. But the reason this story is in is it's funny because she said that she's not allowed in, so she will sneak across in a small boat, which is funny, but also she's not going to do that because look at who she'd be sat next to. That's going to be tense. The small talk would be awkward. So what do you do for a living? I'm an anti-Muslim. So that's not going to happen. Up north, we use kestrels, says Ems. Aye, and we were grateful. We used to love kestrel. On toast. Kestrel hunt, you don't know, they don't know they're born. Let's move away from the Midlands and go into Sheffield. They don't know they're born. Drop Kes, hey, come by. The beard is no longer living at number 10. The nose. Front page of, no, inside the newspaper of this one. Oh, this is War Watch, shall we? War Watch. War Watch, you know. War Watch. My old friend, War Watch.
Oh, hang on. It's over.
Well, is it? I know what you mean about saying the show's mainly jingles these days. So, here's the deal. Get rid of that. It's not over. Things aren't looking great. There's more peace talks. But fuel fears are triggering EV boom. This is one of the surprising outcomes of having this war happen. More people are thinking, oh, petrol's a bit tricky. Let's get some of that EV, which obviously means using electricity, which means the price going up because of the war in Iran. Damn it! But it's interesting that the two people who've done the most to make people buy electric vehicles, given that most of the chat you hear in certain areas of the media are like, oh, these EV cars, and they're pushbacking against these green eco-warriors. Elon Musk and now Donald Trump are the two people who have caused the biggest uptick and uptake of EVs. Yeah, I'm loving it. There was an average of 1,074 a day in March, up 36%, not half, from 787 in February. Great. I'm slightly annoyed at how they get to park in more places. Where you can see the spots that are painted out for electric vehicles and there's no one in it. I drive a hybrid. I should be allowed to park there half the time or something like that. Do you know, it's not a plug-in one, so I don't need to be near the plug, but then there's no one near the plug. Come on. Near where I live, they've opened up a new service station thing that is just for electric vehicles, but maybe I want a coffee. And so I've never been brave enough to drive the very much old, not electric car there, but whenever I'm in the hybrid, I'm like, I'll get away with it. I'm almost one of you. Hang on. My dad used to buy Kestrel GTX oil. It was a lovely lager, isn't it? I do remember Kestrel lager. Kestrel GTX oil. It was a little bit thicker, probably a stout. Warwatch. Warwatch, also known as the Doomsday Clock. Yeah. Will there be a jingle for the jingles? Don't give me ideas. We need pre-roll jingles for jingles. Well, we could look into that. But sales of electric cars fell off a cliff. And the potholes have never been worse. How did that second one... Is that why they fell off a cliff? Did the cars fall off a cliff? Look, hang on. Hey, I think it's down from the number. It's gone up a bit again. More people are buying them because... This is another reason why we shouldn't be this obsessed with using oil. I keep saying it, and everyone thinks I've gone all crazy lefty. I've gone all Zach Polanski. And look, I don't agree with most of his policies. I will try and hypnotize your boobs if you want. I don't think it will help you. I'll have a crack. I'll wave a watch in front of him if it, get my pocket watch out. I might go into a trance, but more than you do, if I'm brutally honest. What were we talking about? Zach Polanski. Green car. Yes. In the future, 3,000 years into the future or whenever, there is no point we are still using the essence of dinosaur to power things, are we? Come on. We'll be using energy straight from the sun. Of course. Don't cripple ourselves financially to do it, but could we maybe stop needing anything that has to come through the Strait of Hormuz? That's what I'd do. I'd probably think, can we get that elsewhere? It'll be difficult to change this around, but now we know what can happen. Now we know they've got some power by shutting off that strait. Can we just get some other stuff from other places? That's what I'd do. I'd open up the gas field right next to us and do more solar. No, that's what we needed. Here it is. Kessie Super. Kestrel GTX. I don't know their balls with pint at Kestrel. Mr. Cuff, very meta. I barely even knew her. The sales of EVs fell off the cliff into a pothole. Are you sure it wasn't just a pothole, but it's so big it now looks like a cliff? That's what you've got to watch out for. I didn't realise they had quarries around here. They don't. Because we're living underwater. Other than that, not much has changed. In the year 3000. But I think that's on a different timeline because Buster did not do 7 albums. So that's clearly not in the 616 universe. You're up to date. EV sales fell off a cliff because electric prices went up. The lack of car tax being collected may have contributed to the potholes. They are much heavier. They are much heavier, but so are lorries, and I think they're doing most of the trouble. The gaze of Hormuz, this is going to go well, also being sadly neglected. They already had a tough time, though, didn't they? I imagine they were not having an easy one. And then the next thing, the blockade turns up. Oh, get her. I imagine that's how they do it. We still don't have enough cables in the ground for everyone to have EVs. Well, good, because half the ground's opened up. Some of those potholes, put your cables in, cover the top, bish, bash, posh. Why are you bringing me problems when you should be bringing me solution opportunities? Gaze of Hormuz are a great band. Yep. I love that we're not taking any of this seriously. Not front page. This. Oh, entertainment news. Pop star Harry Styles and actress Zoe Kravitz. Which does sound like a body part, doesn't it? Oh, right in the Kravitz. Where's your rash? First it started in the Kravitz. Ended up on me Zoe's. Are sleeping in separate beds during their stay in Britain. Not surprised with her rash. Hang on, no. The former 1D star was the band, not the actual concept of how many dimensions he exists in. He'd be point-like. Was snapped showing his American girlfriend the sights close to his North London home. But blah, 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 blah. They sleep in different beds. Of course, why not? You're rich enough, you should. I don't understand why we have this presumption that we should sleep in one bed. It's just because you don't have enough beds, isn't it? Through history, if we had more beds, you would... Oh, I love it when there's a reason to be like, oh, I'll sleep in this. Oh, you getting up early? I'll sleep in that one. And then I just starfish. I look like I've been dropped from a plane. So if I were, obviously, if I were genuinely one-dimensional, I wouldn't starfish. Or I would, but it wouldn't actually have an impact on how much size I occupy. That was the hot take we needed on that story, wasn't it? N-dimension mathematics. Yeah. Joodle says, saw them last year, Squirrel. They were great. Well, they've had a tough time since then. Well, if you include their EP Busted did, just saying, I'm not including Busted's EP. In the lyric, we've done our 7th album or whatever it was. Come on. Even I don't have the cojones to sit here telling you that on Spotify you can get my album. I will tell you can get my EP, I'm Tired, by Stephen Allen. Have a listen and earn me a trillionth of a pence. Jesus, says Joodles. I thought that was Vic Beckham. Zoe Kravitz. It's great that you don't see colour. How very progressive of you. A day in the wife, says Squirrel. I'm not sure what that means, but I like it. Is that the name of your EP? Day in the Wife. That's a good title for a song. All right, I've got some more songs coming at some stage. Maybe I'll record one of those, a Beatles parody. No. Next story. We're to the entertainment news block. Kim Marsh, still angry at fat jibes. Kim Marsh believes she could have gone the way of Karen Carpenter after being ridiculed over her weight on ITV's talent show Popstars. What, she could have been good at singing? In other entertainment news, and it's not my fault that this happens, I just show you what's in a couple of tabloidy, trashy newspapers for chit-chats. I am not obsessed with Sydney Sweeney, or Sydney Sweeney's butt. Hang on, it's creepy, isn't it? Hello? There she is, on manoeuvres or something like that. It looks like you'd be terrified if you saw that suddenly coming at you. Although it also looks like she's about 3 foot tall. So maybe less terrifying. But she's not doing what you think. She is playing... get the cables out of the way. Sorry, I moved those when I was trying to fix the thing. Basketball? No, sorry, baseball. I'm not very good at sports. This is Sydney Sweeney, not got the full kit for baseball. This is probably why I found it difficult to identify the sport. She's definitely not wearing the full kit. I'll just show you her mitt. Well, hang on. I think that's a mitt. Is that what you call it? It's just about big enough to put your hand in. Is that... just let me have a drink. So, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on. When I said I wanted to get to third base with her, move that to one side. What's the latest on Sydney Sweeney watch over here? I think up north they're just allowing all the tarmac to wear away until they're back to the cobbled streets. To be fair, the cobbled alleyways are the only roads without potholes. It's quite, traditional and romantic up there, isn't it? Kim could have been an excellent drummer. Why is there not a Sid jingle yet, PM? Good point, well, mate. Well, I don't know if you saw he did AI a picture of me at the gig, the Wantage gig with Sydney Sweeney. Yep, gonna get me in trouble. Sydney Teeny, depending on what you're talking about. Sydney is the catcher, not the pitcher. Sorry. You're right. Oh, what a fool I've been. Of course she's the catcher, not the pitcher. What am I... You're right. You're right. She's clearly catching. Whereas if anyone's just pitched anything... My gran... Hang on, this will calm me down. Says Ems. Yeah, that's calm me down. My gran saw a biopic about the Carpenters and said she's a bit fat to play Karen. Oh, my days. And this is why I am the way I am. What, you're a good drummer? She's trying to get to third base. Just big enough to put your hand in. Well, I'm not an expert on baseball, but I didn't know if it was a mitt or a... Yeah. She's a picture of good health, says Martin. What's this? Lighthouse keepers always had one leg more muscular than the other. I love tabloid newspapers. But which was the stronger depended on whether the staircase was anti-clockwise or clockwise. And all the fact, it makes... Already, we all know how this makes sense. One limb would always work harder as the stairs are wider on the outside. It was a circular world, says Tom. I'm not saying that on YouTube. I'll get demonetized. The furniture, the walls were curved. All UK lighthouses have fully been automated since 1980. Well, thanks for just ruining the vibe there. Which is the harder... Why is it... You're still lifting yourself up the same distance. I know that the steps are wider, near the wider end, but you still got to... If the steps were like this, I can understand one thigh doesn't have to push as much. Also, you go back down them. Something doesn't add up. Oh, and also no one cares. Mr. Cuff, good point. Do they not walk back down the stairs? Just for a second. Maybe they walked backwards down the stairs. They thought they overcorrected and did it twice. Yeah. Did this author go back in time and actually measure the thickness of the thighs of lighthouse keepers? Because That's not research. You're a perv. What are you going to do in your weekend? Just want to go and measure the thighs. Some lighthouse keepers. Why? Research. Pete Townsend style research. Show your face. Why do you want to know who's got the biggest? I want to know if they've got big thighs. It's my real voice. 2 elephants. This is good. 2 elephants at a theme park were exposed as people in costumes after their human ankles were spotted on camera. And nothing else gave it away than their human ankles. The size, that they were human-sized, the fact that they didn't walk like elephants, the fact that their elephant impression was when the guy pulled his pockets on his trousers the wrong way around and pulled his zip down and... No? That's how I do an elephant impression, by the way. Yep. I mean, there's nothing else than that. It's brilliant, isn't it? Hashtag not news, hashtag lighthouse. Well, I know, but it is in the news. I think it's worth pointing out that author was just a wrong one. I've been sitting around thinking about the thighs of lighthouse men. I'm going to sneeze as well soon. That noise has moved stuff in my hay fever zone. Maybe they have a fireman's pole. Good God, imagine that you landed after doing all that. Ooh. You'd put your tibia up your fibia, wouldn't you? It's like why an eye patch for pirates makes sense. I should read from higher up. My mum applied to an ad to do some light housework. We ended up living in a lighthouse. Maybe they're not in that one. They're narrower going down. We're on the Sydney Sweeney story again. No, you're thinking of Crowded House. It's a different band. No, you're right, I am. But Squirrel, they were lifted. No, that's what? With the Lighthouse family moving in, it turned into a crowded house. Well, it's only natural. Best piece of advice on the show today. Dogs. Choose uncute breeds. Would-be owners are being urged to prioritise the health of cats and dogs over cute looks. This is good advice, also in relationships. Come on, just don't think about cute looks, otherwise you'll have a nightmare of an existence and you have to go on walks a lot. Actually, yeah, it still fits. Battersea says there are a concerning rise in people buying pets that will land them with huge vet bills. We'll stop selling them. Flat faces, bulging eyes, folded ears and short legs. How very dare you. Are found in breeds such as the English and French bulldogs, the Scottish fold cat. Oh. I'm sorry, I don't want to see anyone's Scottish fold. Where did the rash start? Well, it started in my Kravitz. Then I noticed it started to move around to my Scottish fold. And miniature Dachshunds. Why are we making miniature ones? It's a small enough dog. We're doing a tautology dog. You don't need to do that to them. Actually, now we've mentioned Scotland, we can go in slightly different order. Previously on this show, we covered the moon not landing, the moon drive-by, flyby. Got the city on lockdown. And there was some chit-chat. I can't remember who was it who came up with the good analogy. All that money spent sending some Nutella into space, but actually the landing always looks like it's sponsored by Tunnock's tea cakes. Available in your Scottish fold. Well, look at this. Tea cake shoots for stars. Cake company Tunnock's is set to enjoy rocketing sales thanks to the epic Artemis 2 mission. What's the point of doing space exploration? Cakes. Cakes. The final frontier. The firm has been flooded with messages claiming it looked like the astronauts were brought back home by the iconic tea cakes. Of course, the caramel bar wouldn't do you any good, would it? Obviously, the tea cakes. Fans reckon the Orion capsule's parachutes look like the blah blah blah. But it's exactly you're right. There you can see the moon lander. Oh no, sorry, that's. We've been inundated with messages inquiring whether we had sponsored the parachutes. How much money do you think there is in the tea cake market? Martin, yeah, they've nicked our gag. Space cakes. I'd take it as a compliment. They watch this show and they think we want some of that action. Lenny will be delighted. As in Lenny and George of Mice and Men. Well, what's he done? Is he growing alfalfa and living off the fat of the land? Boom, Coffee. What's Coffee done? Flat faces, bulging eyes, folded ears, short legs. Nicola Sturgeon. Oh, that's a Scottish fold you wouldn't want to go anywhere near, isn't it? Probably where some of the cash is being kept. Press the button. Should have edited some of that out. Artemis mission was a sales booster, rocketing sales. Oh, Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz will be happy about the Scottish fold. I'm not going to go his way. Didn't he get his todge out on stage? Didn't he do that thing where he was wearing leather trousers, no pants, and did a lunge or a squat? I don't know the difference. I can't even tell the difference between basketball and baseball when someone's got the Canucks out. So yeah, didn't he do that? He ducked down and got the old todge out, but didn't then follow up by pulling his trouser pockets out and going, missing a perfect opportunity. Some people make me sick. Well, it made some people sick as well. Lenny Kravitz. Oh, crikey, we talk about absolute nonsense around here. That probably is the theme of the show, isn't it? Stephen Allen's absolute nonsense. It's a day. What more do you want? Bargain on Temu was just a picture. A confused gardener, one of the worst types of gardeners, was caught out when his bargain Temu garden arch arrived and turned out it was just a picture. He ordered what he thought would be a nice addition to his outside space. It might be. Put it out there, have a look. But the kitchen business boss scratched his head when the £11.19 item arrived in a smaller package than expected. I did one of those. Oh, no, so what? I went through my phase of just buying crap from Temu, just because I needed to feel alive. And what was it that I bought that was the wrong? I did buy what I thought was an espresso cup, and it turned out to be a normal cup. So if anything, that brings balance to the universe. Some people are getting big stuff and it's turning up smaller. I'm thinking I wanted an espresso cup. It's that metal one up there. I don't use it because also don't get metal coffee cups. Coffee goes cold, doesn't it? Barry Gardner. He's often confused, says Kermit. He might be the third worst type of gardener. Barry. Confused. I'm not saying the top one. Only 7 months and 1 day until Lenny Kravitz's big scarf day. Congratulations. Garden entrepreneur fail. We'll take that out in the edit. I, says Squirrel, worked on building sites with Lenny. Did you? Did you go his way? Joodle's top portmanteau work there. Yes, or top manteau. Well, come on, we can get through it. Gen Xers feel out of step. Nearly a third of over 45 say they've never let their hair down and had a proper dance despite growing up in the decade known for its house music. Yeah, that was guff, wasn't it? I was an indie person, so house music was like that noise. Do we have to pretend we're like this? A study by Kellogg's. Well, I'm glad you're not. I suppose you've made the cereals now. Not a lot of extra R&D required in cornflake technology. You might as well ask people, what did you do in the 80s? 29% have never lost themselves in music. No, it was the generation before who were lost in music. But then they were caught in a trap. You wouldn't want that. That's not the song. Although it would have rhymed. You wouldn't want that. Where's me flat cap? I'm lost in music. Don't have the keyboard plugged in today. It's too late. The idea, I don't want to be lost in music now. No, come on. If I let myself go, I would know about it the next day. My joints would ache. If I genuinely let myself go in the moment, I'd probably wet myself. Do you know what I mean? I'm heading towards that age of life where stuff's still working, but you kind of get a feeling like, you have to update this at some point. Well, so the same's true of my car. Like it's running, but it's not going to be around for the next 20 years. No going back, says Martin. Well, turning back, I wouldn't do either of them. If I could turn back the clock on my car, it'd be better. Special K was popular in raves. I wondered why this story had some Kellogg's overlap. Is that what? I mean, I'm a crunchy nut man myself, but is that what happens if you do too much Special K? You're in the Special K hole. Does that happen? Okay. Can someone, says Ems, please explain how Lenny Kravitz is 61? Yes, I can. Thank you. He was born. I'm not going to risk it. Where's my calculator? Here it is. Boobies. Oh, no, I see. Right. He's 61. If someone is 61, what year? AI, I could have just done the math thing. Were they born? Well, Copilot search. I've literally just burnt off some more water in America for this. If someone is 61 years old on the 10th of February, he doesn't even know what day it is. Thanks, Copilot. I hope you're never an actual Copilot because you don't know what day it is. They were born in either 1964 or 1965, depending on whether they already had their birthday. But you've told me the date, Copilot. So that's how, anyway. How he was born in 1964. That would be the other question, isn't it? When was Lenny Kravitz born? I'm just going to burn off some more water in America. When was Lenny Kravitz born? 26th of May, 1964. No way. You know how his partner was Lisa Bonet? Is that how you say it? I would guess how old she is. Honestly. I'm going to work that out because I know what her date of birth. Hang on. How old is Lisa Bonet? How is she 58? Can someone explain to me how I'm good at maths and I will never understand that. Took a long walk to get there, didn't it? Like and subscribe. So he's not had his birthday yet. So there's still time, Martin. You can send him some, I guess, thicker trousers would be the perfect one. Proper meme says Lisa Boner. You can if you want. I prefer to buy mine outright. From The Cosby Show. And there's no other scandals related to that story. Crunchy Death Nut. Oh, good point. We should do Crunchy. I could release a cereal. Crunchy Death Nuts. I'm pretty sure many Gen X had drugs and might not remember the dancing. I got lost in a mosh pit. Does that count, says Mr. Cuff. I got lost in a maze in some national, one of those stately houses things once when I was a kid. Steve's body is like his computer. Yeah. It's one too many updates. I don't know what to do. It can't handle the number. Genuinely, right? So I've got the side cams. Isn't that funny? You try and put the third one back in and it stops the table cams working. And I also, for some reason, have a camera that sometimes points at the keyboard. Probably don't need all this, do I? I think I've got to stop. Right. Oh, quick rant on this one. Veggies cause cancer. You just can't win, can you? A healthy diet featuring lots of fruit and veg may increase the risk of lung cancer. Boffs claim pesticide residue may be a risk to young non-smokers. Hear me out here. Maybe it's not. Because maybe if you eat a healthy diet and you don't smoke, you live longer. You're going to have to die of something at some point. So, right, if you eat the kind of food that makes you big fatty bum bum and you die of a big fatty bum bum related disease, then you are adding to the statistics of big fatty bum bum diseases. So if you don't do that, if you change your diet, you exercise, you do all this stuff, you live to an age, come on, at some point the human body can't keep copying cells. Something goes wrong with a copy, you get a cancer, you're in the cancer stats. It's correlation versus causation, isn't it? I could put forward an argument that being a good driver increases your risk of cancer, because if you're really bad at it, if you're mooring from driving school levels of like, if at the age of 24 you plow your electric car right off a cliff, you ain't going to show up in cancer stats. Sorry. So, yeah, this is the worry, isn't it? I heard Kermit says Schaefer will be delighted his madness as method. No, that's the thing. It's like me saying, if you want to avoid cancer, just, stop looking forwards when you're driving. What does it say in front of Tiny Steve? Do you mean the board or my penis? The YouTube like and subscribe. It also says that on my penis. Like and subscribe. You just have to crack the code for the lockbox to get into Allen Towers. Oh, God, there's a lockbox, don't you? Alton Towers, says Squirrel. Thank you. Like the way Steve and Tiny Steve point at the subscribe thing together, do we? Yeah, saw that, don't you? Why is it not doing that? Why is it? That's even better. Like and subscribe. Oh, it's the lines on your shirt. I thought there was a caption. Like and subscribe. On a cold day, it just says like and sub. The old LNS. The old LNS. Hooked, lines, and sinker. Salmon. Swim faster, literally Rushdie. Salmon swim faster in the wild on cocaine. Okay. I mean, that's not surprising, is it? Salmon exposed to cocaine swim faster than their drug-free pals. Okay, yep, again. Do they also chat loads of rubbish and have way too much confidence? I think they probably do. It shows the illicit drug, which is increasingly found in rivers and lakes, changes how fish move. Yeah, they probably dance as well. I bet they got lost in music. Which is not what you want when you're trying to make your way back to where you spawned. I'd hate to go back to where I spawned. In the first study of its kind, 105, big data set, juvenile Atlantic salmon. Well, of course they act a little bit immature. They're off their face on the Bolivian marching powder. Were fitted with trackers over 8 weeks. Some of them were exposed to cocaine. Honestly, you get involved in media. And the next thing you know, fell in with a bad crowd. Others had benzo blah 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 board. Which Coke breaks down too. Oh, I see. Oh, imagine that. Giving someone the hangover, but not the fun evening. That's a bit harsh. So yeah, there you go. That just in. Cocaine works on salmon. Sinker? I hardly knew it, says Kermit. You are not a salmon? I forgot. How did I forget? You are not a salmon. For a minute there, I was a salmon. You are not a salmon. And they're like, I'm mad. I am a salmon. The Titanic verses by Salmon Rushdie. Good point. If they swim faster, does it make them Salmon Rushdie? Yes, good point. Oh, it's fast approaching Eurovision. Are you planning on getting paid for a living that night instead? That's a good point. Yeah, if there is a gig, I'm going to have to take the gig. Because I've already forgotten to mention Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen so far on the show, and we've done, basically, so. Yeah. You've got mail, says Proper Memes. Just let me open my browser. How is Lisa Bonet 58? 16th of November. Oh, let's take a look at this one. Proper Memes has sent me what I imagine is a hand-drawn image. You know, this show is all about authenticity. I'm just going to save this in my folder. Even that's slow these days. Opening up a flipping browser, it loses its flipping wits. What up? 500 grams of Steve's crunchy desk nut. Just the one. Quite a big one if you can get 500 grams out of it. Would you buy? Because no one wants to go to ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. Would you be interested in my nuts? It was the Wogan impression. Ah, the old Teddy Wogan. It's all political voting, you know. The last thing I want to do is look like I'm a Radio 2 presenter these days. That'll get you in trouble. I knew the crunchy desk nuts were coming. Well, you can... What? Because of... You know what the joke would have been. It feels wrong to even finish that one. It's all now on Portuguese time. Is it? Is that where they're doing the thing? Nah. I never thought about that. Oh, there's not that many different time zones across Europe, is there? All right, I think we've got one more story left. Oh, actually, I will include this one, because I didn't get to read it fully myself, and I'm interested. A German tourist has created a pickpocket tracker to tackle thieves after visiting London. I bet this 33-year-old guy with an interesting name stayed in to the capital. Stayed in to the capital. Is that right? What am I? Artem stayed in to the capital in February. That's not... Have I had a stroke? That's not a right phrase, is it? Firstly, you tend to have into as one word unless it is, unless the in is linked to the word before it. Stayed in to the capital. I'm breaking down. I know he's German, but he stayed in the capital. How about that? What? And noticed, see it, say it, sorted. Not if that's what you're seeing. Signs all over the place. Despite feeling safe in the capital, the counter-terror slogan stuck in his head. So when he got home, he researched London crime. Wow. Should have done that before. That's like vetting Peter Mandelson after you've given him a job, you idiot. He said, I have a very... Is that what they say? Yes. I have a very great experience in England and London. We went to all the tourist hotspots in the London. I went into the capital. I stayed into the capital, and I've never felt unsafe. It was pretty friendly. Well, the nightclubs he would have been going to with that accent, I bet it was pretty friendly. But what stuck with me was the aggressive ad you hear everywhere in England. See it, say it, sort you don't hear that everywhere. In his research, Artem found videos of London pickpockets who look like regular folk. That's how they get you. That's why I don't like regular folk. He decided to help. I thought, what if you saw a pickpocket or scam and could just report it? You thought that you might be able to see it, bear with me, and then you could say it, and at some point it'd be sorted. What a genius idea this German's had. Wow. I didn't know he was working on those kind of levels. How does he come up with these ideas? Fascinating. Well, no wonder we won the war. We're up to date. Let's do some more of these. It's refreshing all weirdly, isn't it? Articles are so badly written these days, I spend more time correcting them in my head than actually reading them. Well, I was staying into the London. Maybe they just quoted him. Send it back to the publisher. My mother used to underline any mistakes in letters and send it back to them. Yes, we should do that, Ems. See it, underline it, send it back. Bosh. It's my fault for using the Daily Star. We all knew it. I didn't even get to do my energy drink of the day, so hang on. Not like I remember which one it's on now, these.
Energy drink of the day. Keeps me on
That's enough of that. Should we do some of this? Where's that these days? Plugs.
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Right, take a look at this. I made one. But plugs. Let's get this sorted. On Wednesday, I'll be on GB News at 11 p.m. reviewing the news. On Thursday, almost daily at 12. Let's do another one of these. On Friday. Let's do another one. I don't have work in the morning, so we'll do a live and loose when the keyboard will be plugged in. Saturday. Oh, Plank of the Week on Friday as well. Yeah, we're filming that tomorrow, so that should be all right. Try and be funny. And then Sunday. GB News 6. I've put till 10 because I think that's one where if you see me say I'm on at 6, you'll think, beep that, I'm not getting up at 6. Jog on, mate. What do you think I am? So if you wake up any time before 10, tune in. Once an hour I do a newspaper review with some other guest on there. And you're up to date. You can also go, yeah. You can also go to at Mr. Stephen Allen on all the username things. Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. If you've enjoyed this attempt at a show in any way that you think might be worthy of a ticket price, a little pound in my general direction. We need a picture of me over there, sat outside near a cash point with a bowl that says we'll joke for food. We'll probably make that. Spare change, please. 3 for your pound. No, that's not what I'm doing, is it? Standard. Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. Substack, that's it. I wrote a nice one, actually. The column that I worked on. I think I got to the bottom of some stupidity. Substack.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. There's another story I want to write up about a male contraceptive. Will I get time today? Hope so, because there's some stupidity there as well. There's loads of stuff that I covered. I did GB and Talk yesterday. I need to write up some of those. So I'll try and make those in wordy form. Substack.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. How did I just mention it now? I forgot. Yesterday I set up a Discord thing. Last time we were chatting, we said we should get a group, and I don't really know what a Discord is, but I've set one up. And there's a link in the YouTube description. Click down there and see what's happening. Even I can have a look at it, can't I? I really don't know what one is. But, my order's out for delivery. I have to start off today's show doing those northern impressions. My northernness is really coming back thick and fast, isn't it? Thick and Fast, of course, my nickname. In that nightclub. What? Can't get in. #article. Do what? With a who what? Did Nelson mind? What are we talking about? Plugs. As long as it's not a bum punch, says Ems. What? No, we're all right. Yeah. Full throttle, which also sounds rude, doesn't it? I'm just popping in the shed for a full throttle. You'll be tired afterwards. Ironically, I won't be tired afterwards. You could also go, yeah. Thank you. I'll work on that one. Thank you, Martin. What do I do instead? Doing, yeah. I do that. Yeah, you're right. Can't get in. Are you on the thing? Are you on? Skeletor goes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point. Is that you working on his column? Nobody there. Are you looking at the Discord thing? I don't know what it is. Get yourself on there. The link's underneath, and we'll see what happens. People chat or something. I don't know. I don't see the Discord link in the description. Well, I'll tweet it soon as well. Do I mention I'm on the Twitter? Hang on. Is this thing actually broadcasting? Are we on YouTube? Christ. Oh, I can hear me. Yeah, that's not going to work. Wow, that's delayed, isn't it? Let's have a look. Oh, look, we have a Discord thingy, it says in the YouTube description. Discord.gg/7M. Are you sure you want to leave YouTube? Yes, I know I am, yeah. Oh, I've pressed back to YouTube. Damn it. That's delayed, isn't it? And now I've said that's delayed twice, so now I'm not going to know where it is. My phone's just gone off as well. I'll tell you what, I'll deal with this later. I'm not signed in on this computer. So you can go on there. How many members? 2. It's more than you need. It's more than I've ever needed. Other than in that nightclub. Thick and Fast, they were called. Thank you very much for partaking. It's follow on all the social medias. There's normally something else I say. Oh, subscribe. Yeah, like and subscribe. Let's get the video thing. Yeah, here you go. Like and subscribe. And we'll do another one of these Thursday when we'll chat through some more news. Till then, as Em says, till then, stay northern. Is that the catchphrase I've been looking for? Technology, it's not for everyone. I'm normally really good at it. I really am aging out of knowing what the hell's happening with technology. Can we have the link on here in the chat? Yes, you can. No, you can. Just because you asked. If it was someone else asking, Coffee, I'm not sure I would. But seeing as you wanted, you can now watch a grown man copy and paste something live on YouTube. It's a good job the delay doesn't mean I'd turn that on to hear it. Yeah, because that would have... Getting that right in the ear. Coming at you, like Cleopatra. I wonder who the 2 members are. One's probably me. And one is probably my other account that I logged in on. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. Just before we go, what do you do with a Discord server? What does one do? What shall I be doing on there? I guess it will evolve through time. We'll see. That's another thing to plug, though, isn't it? I have to put another jobby thing down here. Do some of that. And Thursday from 12, we'll be back with more. Till next time, stay northern.
Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again.
Britain is in the grip of a vomiting epidemic.
Are we sure? He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen, almost daily. Laughs and facts, served out plainly. Yet those who win, it's never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
How is Lisa Bonet that old?